and not what the disease made me.
I'm not gonna lie,
to go on
this letter from her, the first time I heard it, I was so angry.
for yourself and for others.
What a manipulating bitch. Like
you did for
I'm
me.
sorry, but it is very
James.
manipulating.
You made me happy.
No, not at all. I'm not saying she deserved it. I'm saying that. Okay, let me get into my theory here. So this is the Leave ending. I got the Leave ending. Sid got the one where he drove into the fucking harbor and killed himself like that. I have a theory that Silent Hill is a purgatory. It's a place of purgatory. It is where you have to fight your inner demons, face yourself to go to the other side, right? And because James had done something so horrific, he had more to deal with, right? Silent Hill is not necessarily, we can place it on the fog. Silent Hill is not necessarily a city or a place that is real. It is designed for the person that is there. And James is living through his nightmare, his purgatory, his living hell, and he has to go through these trials, fighting himself and sides of himself to accept that he will never find Mary. He will never get that forgiveness. He will never get that redemption that he wants from her. And the different representations are James himself, of course. Then we have Angela, who is the female embodiment of James, who represents acceptance and the whole aspect of self-loathing and just dwelling on it, right? We go up against, because for me it doesn't make sense that she exists, that she's a live person. Why are we fighting her inner demon as the abstract daddy, right? I think that James have, in his early age, like in his youth, gone through severe trauma with perhaps an abusive mother or an abusive father or whatever it may be. It could be an abusive father, and that is why Angela looks for her mama, right? Because James needed desperately a mother figure while he was going through all of this with Mary, but he couldn't because his mom wasn't around.
No, Bacon. Well, I know you're kidding, but there's a lot of evidences throughout the game that suggest this is a looping.
Yeah, it's a time loop, but
A time loop.
Angela is the female representation. She's the acceptance. When she walks into the fire, she's accepting the fact that what we are looking for, and they are even saying it in the conversation, you can't find what it is that you're looking for here. She's accepting the fact that she's not gonna find her mama. James is accepting the fact that he's not gonna find Mary until that spark with that fucking radio, right? And he keeps walking into this denial of Mary being alive still in Silent Hill, right? That he has to find her, which is the time loop. He keeps going back to the purgatory. Then we have Eddie. Everybody thinks that Eddie is just this weird guy, right? That gets aggressive. Eddie represents self-hatred and this like insane need for punishment for what he's been through, like that hate, that anger. He's the anger, right? And you have to face that anger. You have to defeat it in order to overcome towards success, like acceptance, right? Then you have Laura. Laura is his denial. And we chase Laura around the entire game through all of these trials to find Mary. And as soon as James finally accepts that he's not gonna find Mary because of what he did to her, Laura keeps it alive. Laura still has this denial, right? Then we have Maria. Maria is the temptress to keep him in the purgatory, to keep him in this self-hatred, in this denial, right? To keep him punishing himself. Like, she is legitimately there to keep him there so he will continue to punish himself for what he did, for his sins. And we have Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head is James. Pyramid Head is the different versions of James that wants him to find peace and acceptance. That is why we see Pyramid Head pushing James ahead constantly. We can't move on with the gameplay without Pyramid Head actually pushing us and into the narrative, right? And
what? No, she's not.
he's also like, whenever we encounter Pyramid Head, James is just accepting the punishment. It's just accepting the violence and the hurt and the abuse, because that is who James is. He hates himself so much that he punishes himself constantly. Maria takes the shape of Mary as a more sultry, like exotic version of Mary, right?
James's ideal of what Mary should be.
Yeah, exactly.
His sexual fantasy.
And exactly, and
But she was hotter in the original. But I think they made her age appropriate in this one.
there are so many layers to this game. So many layers if you dive deep. And every single ending, if you have the time loop of James constantly being in his denial, not finding acceptance, not moving on, not realizing that there's no way that he can get to Mary because of what the fuck he did to her, right? There's no redemption, there is no way, there is nothing. He has to accept the fact that he will never, ever, ever actually be with her again. Not even in the afterlife.
And going back to like James being Pyramid Head, there's I didn't notice it before, but someone had caught that if you go back to the town,
yeah,
and you look in the reflections,
yeah,
of James, it's not clear, but it's very distorted, and he looks like Pyramid Head.
Yeah. So for
yeah, apparently so.
So for me,
which makes me want to go back and try that. Look at it.
For me, it's a mental purgatory of finding acceptance in your grief, right? And every ending is a simple denial. Now, if we have the ending that Sid got, where he sat in a car reading the letter and driving into the river to look at river,
that was acceptance.
You see, but you see him talking to Mary in the back of his car. Now, if you start up the game again, you will see that she's actually physically in the back of his fucking car, which is kind of fucking sick.
Mary's dead body's in the back of the car.
I don't ever think that James or any of the other characters have ever been alive. I think this is a mindfuck of a time loop to showcase acceptance.
So it's not that he's... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
It's not that he's an asshole. It's that, yeah, I mean, yes, he is an asshole. But it's not because he's an asshole. It's because he hasn't learned his lesson. Yeah. And that's the theory of the time loop, that he keeps going back through this loop, through the journey of Silent Hill.
And you see it with Eddie. You see all the different... Also in the town, you see dead James bodies all over Silent Hill, just lying about, scattered. And in the last scene with Eddie, that freezer is filled with James's dead bodies because it's happened so many times before, right?
Yeah. So, and it's trying to teach him something. It's not really teaching him. Well, it's teaching him something, but it's also tormenting him. and it's just he doesn't, because he flashes back. I don't think he realizes it, and he's living his hell over and over and over again. That's why you get different types of endings. So, and then your question about the UFO ending and the dog one, literally, memes. I believe that's just a fucked up. That's just memes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, but there are like 6 other endings that coincide with what everything is happening. Someone I think already is wanting to do a video of Taz's theory.
Yeah. There is a guy that I wrote.
I have no really theory. I just tag along.
I wrote the theory in a video I saw of his he made a compilation of a lot of different theories around Silent Hill 2. And this guy has like 70+ K subscriptions on YouTube. And I wrote my theory down in a comment, and he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna make something out of this." Because I can sit here and talk about it, but legitimately I don't want to put in the time to find the clips and put it together and blah 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 blah. But I firmly believe that this is a time loop, and everything, every little Easter egg in the game indicates it. The TVs have Morse code that says again and again and again and again and again, and you have the pictures that you find in the end has it was a puzzle that was put in there, and it said, what was it, like, you've been here for 2 decades or something like that, right?
It's the pictures you find.
Yeah, they end up like saying you've been here for 2 decades or something like that. So every single thing indicates that this is a time loop. All the tiny little Easter eggs, the little puzzles that have been left for the diehard fans of Silent Hill, indicates that this is a time loop, and James is stuck. He is stuck because he can't like, what it is that he needs to find, we don't know. But I don't think he's alive. I don't believe that any of the characters in this game is alive. What the different monsters represent is completely up to, like, personally for me, everybody else can say that they represent all these different things. But my personal belief is that nothing is alive in Silent Hill.
Well, now that Taz has finished Silent Hill 2 remake, I'm going to be buying her the Silent Hill F.
No. What about Red Dead Redemption 2, man?
I can still buy you the damn game.
True. To do any more of these? Well, apparently Silent Hill F. You seem to be very invested in this. I am very invested, but that is, Bacon, that is because I've talked about this so many times, but a lot of people don't know this, that a lot of new viewers, new friends, new people here. I used to study to become a life coach and therapist for 6 years. Mental health matters to me. Psychology matters to me. It is one of my hyperfixations. I love shit like this. It, like, to put a psychological spin onto something that is so metaphorical, like, just vast and really up to your own interpretation, is just my thing. I fucking love it. You've seen what PUBG's next collab is? No, I haven't. Spec Ops: The Line. Oh my.
If it's in Bad Bunny, I don't care.
Showing him, even if he bartered his life for hers 1,000 times.
Pain and death after these messages.
1,000 times you can't beg a dead person to go. Exactly, Kel. It's something like that, right? The whole acceptance of
God.
She's gone. He can't find that redemption, right? Oh my fucking God, Hope. Please
honestly,
tell me
I feel that PUBG needs to, like, not follow what Fortnite is doing and do something better.
Yeah.
And not go with Skibidi Toilet.
That's the thing, Bacon. You got the right idea here. Like he is in his own personal hell, right? His purgatory. And he's doing all of these trials to figure out that he will never find redemption with Mary. He will never get that. He has to accept that she's gone. And he has to accept that what he did to her. But because he keeps punishing himself over and over and over mentally, it's the same thing with... Have you ever broken a glass?
I think...
Right? Have you ever broken a glass? There's a difference in doing it accidentally and doing it on purpose, right? Now, have you broken a glass that meant something to someone? Let's say it was a cup that your wife got from a friend that is no longer here, and you break that, and you do it on purpose. That remorse that you eventually will feel for that will eat you up, because there, you know, you can never replace it, right? That is what James is doing. He's beating himself up. He's punishing himself for what he did to Mary. But thing is, I firmly believe that he got triggered not only by Mary, but also his past. And what we're seeing through Laura, Angela, and Eddie is his past, is the reasoning for why he killed Mary. Because Eddie talks about being bullied and manipulated. Angela talks about sexual abuse, verbal abuse, abuse in general, right? Laura was groomed by a fucking grown-ass woman. I don't care that people say, but Mary met Laura in the hospital and blah, blah, blah. It is fucking weird that you have a grown-ass woman writing letters to a little child that is running around alone in a city. Where is her parents? Where are her parents? Where are Laura's parents? What the fuck is Laura doing there, right? If you take a gander at all of this and you kind of put some logical sense to it and think twice about a few things, it makes sense. I need to find the end, and you would love the mental journey the devs made.
I feel the ending for Maria, when you accept Maria and go with Maria, I think that's one of the most. I think that's one of the most fucked up ones, because you're taking her to the car.
Yeah, and she starts coughing, and the loop starts again.
But like James just kind of
so
goes,
indifferent.
like, kind of shrugs it off.
Yeah, he's
but no,
so
James
indifferent.
kind of shrugs it off and just goes like, "You better take a look at that cough, or take care of that cough." And
Ever
it
see
just
someone about
basically
that?
repeats the cycle that he did with Mary.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of fucked up.
They couldn't done so much better explanation. You would love the mental journey the devs made. Okay, so combat, light, leave,